Tim Clare is the director of Mustard, a ministry group that operates in many high schools around Melbourne. He recently held a number of roundtable events, giving parents and grandparents the opportunity to gain a greater understanding of what it's like to be a teenager these days. The panel featured a mix of teenagers and adults who shared information and stories on topics such as social media and the internet, alcohol and drugs, everyday pressures facing teens, and the role of faith in young adults' lives.
And so we wanted to run a night that would be helpful to help people understand what it means to be a young person these days. So we asked a few young people just to give us a couple of thoughts about maybe the breakdown between young people and adults. So check out the video.
And I know you're very concerned about our well-being, and I know you want to make sure that we're all okay and that we're doing all right, and you want to find out about our lives, and that's totally great. But there is a time and place, and if we say we don't want to talk, it means we do not want to talk.
Teenagers are not out there to annoy you. We're actually really lovely people, mostly.
We came to a point of, a couple of things happened. Came to a point of understanding that ministry workers get to hear from interesting thinkers, key thinkers and research people. But I guess the ordinary mum and dad that go to church every Sunday don't always get those opportunities. And so we wanted to try and bring those opportunities to anyone who might be interested in particularly the issues of young people these days.
One of my teachers was talking to me, was talking to the class, and he said, "You guys are young adults now, so we expect the most from you." So I was like, "Yeah, I'm a young adult, that's awesome, right? Get to year 7. And to start, we're sitting in the assembly, alright, you guys are in high school now, you're all young adults, as of now." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a young adult, I got that last year." Year 8, okay, you guys, you're no longer year 7s, you guys are now young adults. I'm like, alright, I get it. And you hear this a lot. They expect you to act like an adult. And you are treated as a kid, but you're expected to be responsible as an adult. And you sort of get these conflicting messages like, what do you want me to do?
So for this generation, when they're talking about a library, they mean their playlist on iTunes. They've probably never seen a camera that required film or will ever have to wait for their photos to be developed. Their idea of an encyclopedia is one that they can change and contribute to. And whilst they're constantly reading, it's rarely going to be a book from cover to cover. And after all, they're visual communicators, so why read it when you can watch it?
Our life, our culture is changing so rapidly, and so often young people are on the forefront of that change. They are the first people to experience it for many different reasons.
If there's a word that defines the era in which we're living, that word would be change. It's not just any change, but it's unprecedented in its speed, in its scale, and in its scope.
Binge drinking is probably one of the biggest, is the most harmful substance abuse that we're seeing with our young people today. It's funny to look at some of the stats and hearing some of the stories from these guys in the video, that the average age that young people are first trying alcohol and tobacco has actually gone up in the last 3 years. So they are now trying it later in life than they had been earlier. It's gone from about 14 and a half to almost 16. So first instances have gone, the age has gone up for those. It has gone down for the use of illegal drugs though. So illegal drugs are being accessed at a younger age than they had been before.
I don't know whether it's just Australia, but I know that I think this was talked about the last time I was at Roundtable, there's been a big drinking culture in Australia for a long time. This isn't just something that's new.
Year 12, I'd probably say is the most amount of parties I've ever been to in a year, ranging from 1 to 2 parties every week, which is full on.
A key focus of the night was the role of faith in young adults' lives and how to maintain strong belief in a challenging environment.
I guess the statistic or the fact that a huge drop-off of young people losing or dropping off their faith after high school. And so we wanted to I guess, raise the profile of that issue and to get the broader church to be thinking about how to respond to that kind of alarming statistics that we're finding. So that was kind of the reason that we wanted to do these things called Roundtable.
I think the most critical thing is definitely staying in touch with your Christian friends who believe the same thing as you do and who are not idiots. It's quite frustrating to be dismissed as less intelligent than somebody else because you believe in Jesus, knowing that there are very intelligent people out there who agree with you is definitely quite a comfort.
But what I think it comes down to in terms of finding time for our faith is largely the priorities that people place on things. So I find you get kids who've had parents role modelling to them. It is really important to prioritise your faith as the number one, like God is the most important.
They challenge it. So like last year, before I started going to Mustard, they asked lots of questions, which sort of challenged my faith a bit. And I think what would have helped me is to like sort of catch up with my friends from youth group, like catch up with my friendship group from church, which are Christians who do believe in the same thing as me. So I think it is important to like stay in touch with those friends.
If people know you're a Christian, then they're going, and they're an atheist, then they're going to try and challenge you, most likely. And if you don't have a logical reason, then they're going to feed on that.
Mustard is an independent Christian ministry that we work in high schools around Melbourne. We do two major things. One is that we give support to a number of lunchtime groups that are designed to encourage young people, encourage and support Christian young people in schools to help them to live out their faith.
Roundtable, we've only heard positive things. I guess when you get some interesting people in a room and give an opportunity for people to ask them questions and to have a chat about things, then I guess you can't go wrong. When people have some interesting things to say, then I think people engage, and it's a good thing to do, and we've loved doing it. It's been a real blessing and honour to be able to do something like this. I guess we hear that from whenever we do a roundtable event, is that we hear people say more people should have been here, more people need to hear this sort of stuff. And so I guess the big challenge has been trying to, get that idea of what we're trying to do out to as many people as possible. I guess we're always looking for more people to be involved and to get on board, to support, to partner with us. And so I would certainly invite anyone who feels, I guess, excited by the work that we're doing to get in touch with us and to get involved. We'd love to have you. Sure, you can visit our website, mustard.org.au. You can email info@mustard.org.au. They're the two best ways to communicate with us.
Anglican Media Melbourne.